Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be demoing my calendar app, Planz. It is a full stack project written entirely in Next.js for the front end and the back end, and it's currently deployed on render, which is what we're seeing right now. So in Planz, you can create on the calendar and create any event that you'd like, but for that we have to be logged in. So let's log in, and if we don't have an account, we can create one, but we already have one. So let's go back to the login modal and log in. And if we click on the calendar now, after being logged in, we can see that we can create an event. So let's create an event and give it a title. It's set for a day, and it's now created. So if we click on it, we can see the details of the plans that we created, the title, the times for its start and end, and who's invited. Currently it's just us, so we can delete this plan if we want to add other people. And to add other people, we have to go to our contacts and add people. We don't have any right now, so let's look some up. And it looks like there's 2 other users with this, so let's add them as friends. And now if we go back to our calendar app and click anywhere, you can see that we can add these contacts, user 1 and user 2. So let's add these contacts, create another title, plans with friends, and let's set this for sometime in the future. Now we can see that we have this other plans that we created, and we have 3 invited contacts, us and the 2 users that we just invited. We can also delete this, but if we do, it'll delete it for the other users. And this is now working and set up for all of us. If we log out and log into one of the other users, we can see that our calendar now has the plans with friends with the other invited contacts. We can also delete this from any of the other users that have been invited. And if I were to log in to any of the other accounts, we can see that the plans were deleted. There is also a dark mode, just for convenience, and that is Planz. And this is some of the code for Planz. As you can see over here in the File Explorer, we have our source, and since this is Next.js 14, we're using App Router. We have our routes under API. We also have our pages here. We have our components, and since everything in Next.js is written in React, we have JSX. And for styles, we have Sass files. One of the things I wanted to do was rewrite all of this JavaScript into TypeScript to add some type safety for the front end. I didn't end up having time for that, so that'll be something I tackle in the future. Another thing I was able to change was the use of the styling. I'm now using Sass files. Previously, I had been using styled components, but earlier this year, styled components had lost support, and it just made sense to update the styling to something that still had ongoing support. It's also easier to use than styled components with Next.js, as styled components had some issues between client and server components. So using Sass files has removed some of the complexity of the app. Over here, you can see one of the Sass files. It's in BEM format, or block element modifier format. And so this block is for the contacts page. So I called it contacts. This here is for the element, and I assign this to any of the elements that need tab wrapper, or the selected tab wrapper, or the icon wrapper. And inside each of these, you can also have a modifier if you need to modify any of these elements. And over here, we can see one of the routes on the back end. This is for our GWT, or our JOT token. And this is just to ensure that any of the users that log in will have their own session in cookies. And that is just a short code overview of Planz. Thank you.